Hi, I'm Elizabeth.
And I'm Cindy.
And we're here with another Feeding Frenzy for the 4 Spiritual Laws of Prosperity by Edwene Gaine. A simple guide to unlimited abundance.
You thought I was going to
mess
You
that up,
had to
didn't
think
you?
about it.
Okay, I got a head cold. Yeah, I had to think about it. So what? All right, so we're on chapter 5.
We are.
I'm going to push you out of your comfort zone.
Oh, good. Won't be the first time.
Well, not the truth.
So what does she mean by moving out of our comfort zones?
Well, we can't get any further than where we are until we change,
Mhm.
you know, and I don't know about you, but it doesn't matter even if change is a small amount. I've got to get out of where I'm comfortable in order to change, you know, and all change brings some kind of discomfort.
Right.
Yeah.
I think she should have named it get rid of your fears or face your fears or something, because that's exactly what getting out of my comfort zone is all about, is facing those things I'm most afraid of that are holding me back.
But that's the point. That's what's holding you back.
Right.
That we fear holds us. You know?
Yep.
And so the only way to move through it is to face it.
Take the first step.
Yeah.
Now, both of us have gone to Edwene's retreat, and we have walked.
And if you have not,
right?
If you have not, then you need to, and we will link to her.
Yes.
To her website.
Right, and she has a retreat almost once a month of some sort. So there's plenty of them to choose from. And not each time, but a lot of the times that we've been, she's had a firewalk.
She has.
And tell us what you think about the firewalk.
I love the firewalk. I love the firewalk. The firewalk is different every time I do it. Every time I do it. Now, the first time I did it, obviously, was I faced the fear of the fire, literally.
Right.
You know, because it was something I had never done before. And she's always explained that you never make up your mind whether you're going to do it or not until you get there.
Right.
And I thought, yeah, right.
A lot of people make their mind up before they go, and then they change it after.
Well, I was no different.
Yeah.
You know, I had decided, y'all are crazy or loons. I'm not doing that. And the closer that we got, you know, you're told that you ask for your guidance.
Right.
And if you get the okay from your guidance, then you can do that. Now, you still have to walk through the fear of actually doing it. And the first time I did that, that's the fear that I was trying to conquer, was over the fire itself. But like she says, you know, fear is literally just a membrane. And once you can take that first step through it, then, you know, once you step on hot coals, your body knows how to get you off.
Right. It's easy from then.
It's easy from then. Well, that's, you know, pretty much the way all our fears are or have been.
Right.
You know, it's a small membrane, and once you break through it, then it's easier to walk through it. But each one of those fires has been different for me, and I was facing a different fear each time. And that was a huge, huge demonstration of how to take care of the rest of the fears that I face in my life. What about you?
The same. They've all been different, and I've all been at different places in my life when I've hit that fire, and they've all had different lessons. Each time I've gone, I have learned something new and have faced a different kind of fear. And you know, I've been through it enough now with Edwene that I can almost repeat word for word the workshop that she does around that, and that in itself has been a huge, huge tool in my life and how I face my goals and fears as well. And one of the things she says is that the way you walk across the fire is the way you do everything in life. And it's so true, because I can see every time I've gone through it that I've learned something else about the way I handle problems and fears and obstacles that I face. The one thing I like about Edwene's firewalks, as opposed to other firewalks I've seen on TV and heard about, is that most of those are pump you up, and get you to a point of just excitement so that you just zoom across that fire.
Just barrel through it.
And I think that the adrenaline is what gets you through those. And with Edwene, it's all about following your guidance.
It really,
And it's
a spiritual experience.
It's a very spiritual experience, and I don't feel, even though I'm excited and I'm scared, and there's definitely some chemical changes going on in my body, I wouldn't say it's the adrenaline that makes me do it.
Right.
It's God that gives me the okay to do it in that moment. And I've been, I don't know if I should say lucky enough or just, this is my experience, is that I have gone every time I've been there. I've never gotten the guidance to not do it, and I know you have.
I have.
Which was a totally different experience for you.
Totally different experience.
But to get that guidance and that knowing, and for me that's all the guidance is a knowing that I can do this, and that there's no reason not to do it if I want to. And it's never been a you must do this, but you can if you want to. And to get that kind of knowing is empowering to me.
Yeah.
And to feel that kind of fear and do it anyway,
Yeah.
and to power through that fear is extremely empowering.
Well, one of the biggest things that the firewalk has taught me, not only to how to walk through my fear, but it's also taught me how to ask for and listen to my guidance.
Yes.
And that firewalker that you were talking about, that one time that I was given, the guidance that I got was, no, you do not walk this fire, you will get hurt this time. I was so super disappointed because I really wanted to, and I had been several times before. I mean, it was, I don't want to say I've become an old hat at it, but I had done it quite a few times.
You knew you could.
I knew I could. I mean, I knew it wasn't a big deal. But the guidance I got that time was, you absolutely no, you will get hurt this time. And it was in that manner, or at that point, when I learned how to listen, I became teachable. I learned how to listen to my guidance, even though the ego of me, the personality of me, really wanted this.
Right.
You know, I recognized in that moment, for my higher good, I need to listen here.
Right.
I was the only one that didn't walk that night. Like I said, it wasn't a contest for me, but I was horribly disappointed. I really wanted to. It probably taught me more in that one firewalk, the one I didn't walk, than all the rest of the ones that I did walk, just because I learned how to listen to my guidance.
Right.
And ever since then, I just don't question my guidance anymore.
Wow.
You know, I just know it's spot on. Whatever my guidance is, you know, I'm going to stop and do. Whether it's something very small that it's telling me to do, like I was driving in the car one day and I just got the nudge, you need to stop now. And I literally stopped the car in the middle of the road. Well, probably 30 seconds later, an ambulance came zooming around me. And it probably would have scared me. If I hadn't have followed that, you know. So because of that one firewalk where I didn't walk, I learned to listen even when it's small, but most especially when my guidance is big and I'm asked for it. So it taught me a lot about how to ask God for something and how to listen for God's answer.
Wow. For me, it was almost like, well, one of the things I've learned, one of the many, is that my guidance sounds a lot like me a lot of the time, and that I don't have to discount all my thoughts because some of them are from God, and it is my guidance leading me in the way I need to go instead of me just thinking, well, that's me and it may be a stupid idea. You know, so it's helped me to discern when it's my ego and when it is truly my guidance leading me in a certain direction. So the firewalk has been invaluable in my training in a lot of ways. It's helped me to face fears in my business or with certain situations with clients or whatever I'm afraid of. It has helped me to realize that, number one, it's just a fear, which is false evidence appearing real. And that number two is that it's only going to be hard until I make that first step. And after that, it gets easy. And after that, it's no big thing, and I'll look back on it usually and say, what was I afraid of? That's silly to be afraid of that, you know? So it's really been helpful.
You'll get back. Something else that I loved what she was talking about in the chapter was when she was talking about learning to live with fear. And that is truly the basis of it, you know? Especially when we were doing the firewalks, I figured I'm going to get to a point where I become fearless. You know?
Right.
And that is just not the case. You know, just because you are spiritual or whatever, or awakened or enlightened or whatever, doesn't mean you have no fear.
Right. It just means you know how to live with it.
You learn how to live with it. How to, so, you know, there's...
How to put it in its place.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
So I love how she brought that up, you know, that we... or learning to live with fear.
Mm-hmm. So, do you think it's better to live just outside your comfort zone? Or do you think it's better to live inside your comfort zone?
I think it's up to the individual.
Mm.
Some of us are better, are more comfortable living just inside the comfort zone. And that's okay. And some of us live way outside. You know, like some of these people I see
Real
jumping out of
yeah.
perfectly good airplanes. They live way outside comfort zones, or my comfort zone anyway. But I think, for me, if I am truly going to keep moving forward, then I truly have to live just outside my comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
If I'm truly going to push past and get where I want to be, I'm going to have to keep challenging myself.
Mm-hmm.
I can get good and comfortable, just like the best.
But I find that when I do, I get lazy.
I do get lazy.
And I don't.
That's exactly
push
what
towards my
happens.
goals.
Is I get lazy.
Yeah.
I get good and comfortable, and I kick back, and toss the shoes off, and here I am. Well, unfortunately, that's where I stay.
That's where we stay. Yeah.
So I feel like I really need to live right there outside the envelope, not way outside the envelope.
I like being a little uncomfortable, not real comfortable, and not real uncomfortable, but just a little uncomfortable, so that it pushes me forward.
So I keep going.
Yeah. So this wraps up the goal setting thing. Are you ready to be done with it, or do you think we need more time on it?
I think I'm good going through it. Definitely learning lessons as we go. And
So
we can come back to it.
Right. We're going to keep doing the goal setting, and we're going to keep working on it on our own, and we'll give updates as we go. But as far as discussing it in the book, I think we're ready to move on to the next chapter. And the next one's on forgiveness, I believe.
Forgiveness.
Yep. The third law is forgiveness, and that's where we'll start tomorrow.
Okay.
You ready?
That's good stuff.
That's very good stuff.
Stream.